Can a 3.2% beer really taste like its 5.7% big brother? Today we're finding out with Cleddau Brewing's East High and Low East Coast Hazy. Now, if you haven't already watched my unboxing video where I explain the whole high and low concept, I'd recommend watching that next. I'll put a link in the description because it's a genuinely clever idea. Both of these beers use exactly the same recipe and exactly the same hop bill. Magnum, Citra, Mosaic and Dorado. The only real difference should be the alcohol content. Let's find out. Straight into the glass, these look incredibly similar. Lovely, hazy golden colour. Exactly what I'd expect from an East Coast hazy. One thing did surprise me though. The low poured with a noticeably better head. It's thicker, creamier, and it's hanging around longer than the high. Right then. Let's start with the low. Straight away, I'm getting plenty of citrus. Some tropical fruit. A little grapefruit. Let's have a taste. That's lovely. Really juicy, easy drinking, plenty of citrus, a nice tropical finish. Now onto the high. Well, that smells incredibly similar. Right, let's have a taste. Get into my tasting hatch, juicy bitch. Again, really close. Right. Let's compare them properly. Again, honestly, I genuinely can't separate them on the aroma. Prepare the tasting hatch for takeoff. Sippy sip of the low. Sippy sip of the high. Seriously? Fair play, Cleddau. Honestly, that deserves a round of applause. That's exactly what you set out to achieve. These genuinely taste like the same beer. If you'd handed me those blind, I don't think I'd have had a clue which one was the 3.2% beer and which one was the 5.7%. That's seriously fucking impressive brewing. Now, because I'm a complete beer nerd, I left both beers sitting for another 30 minutes. Let's be honest, most beers don't survive 30 minutes, certainly not in my house. But I wanted to see what happened as they warmed up. This is where I finally found a difference. The low developed a more noticeable lingering grapefruit peel bitterness. The overall flavour stayed remarkably similar. It was still obviously the same beer. But that lingering bitterness became the giveaway. As beer warms, bitterness tends to become more noticeable anyway. My guess is that the slightly lower alcohol and lighter body in the low aren't balancing those hop flavours quite as much, so the grapefruit peel bitterness comes through a little more. Now, this is completely personal. I don't enjoy eating grapefruit peel, which is why I peel it off and throw it at Mrs. Hopper when she's sleeping, so I don't particularly enjoy that flavour lingering in my beer either. I'd personally have preferred a softer, juicier finish. But then again, what sort of dickhead leaves a beer to purposefully go warm? So that doesn't make this a bad beer. Far from it. Very, very far from it. What I don't want this review to do is take anything away from what Cleddau have achieved. Their aim is to make high and low strength beers that genuinely taste like the same beer. For me, they've absolutely done that. The only real difference appeared after I'd deliberately left them warming for about half an hour, which honestly hardly anybody is ever going to do. That's a seriously impressive brewing achievement. The only constructive criticism I'd offer is exactly the same as with the other beers. I'd love to see the hop bill printed on the can. Reese told me these use Magnum, Citra, Mosaic and Dorado. As a beer geek, I love knowing exactly what's in my glass, and it'd be great to see that information on the packaging. With that tiny flaw in mind, 1 point was deducted for not displaying the hop bill. Sorry. I work for the god of beer, and I must follow the Holy Score Bible. 2 points for the artwork, 2 points for appearance, 1 point for taste, 2 points for body and mouthfeel, a bonus point for proper hops being used in the brew. That gives both the high and the low 6.5 out of 10, or 3.5 shiny golden stars. If hop details were listed on the can, this would have scored 7.5 or 4 stars. I'm sure Reese can fix this for future beers, if he agrees with me. Now, don't confuse that with the concept. They're two completely different things. The concept deserves 10 out of 10, and another round of applause from me. Because Cleddau set out to brew two beers with different alcohol strengths that genuinely taste like the same beer. And for me, they've absolutely achieved that. This score simply reflects my own palate. I was hoping for a softer, juicier finish with a little less lingering grapefruit peel bitterness. If that's a flavour profile you enjoy, there's every chance you'll score these higher than I have. If you've tried these beers, let me know what you thought down in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you haven't already watched my high and low unboxing video, make sure you watch that next. I'll leave a link in the description. Stay tuned. I've yet to review the Cleddau Red, the Magnum Lager and the West. Oh boy, am I looking forward to the West. You know how much I fucking detest Westies, you pack of evil, pissed-up masochists.
You are terminated.
Hop her out!
Hopper out, motherfuckers!
I'll be back.